With your support on November 5th, America will be bigger, better, bolder, richer, safer, and stronger than ever before.
It is deeply troubling and incredibly dangerous that Donald Trump would invoke Adolf Hitler, the man who is responsible for the deaths of 6 million Jews and hundreds of thousands of Americans. All of this is further evidence for the American people of who Donald Trump really is.
Voters in the United States go to the polls on the 5th of November to elect their next president. The election was initially a rematch of 2020, but it was upended in July when President Joe Biden ended his campaign and endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris. The big question now is, will America get its first woman president or a second Donald Trump term? As Election Day approaches, we'll be keeping track of the polls and seeing what effect the campaign has on the race for the White House. Who is leading national polls? Harris has had a small lead over Trump in the national polling averages since she entered the race at the end of July, and she remains ahead. Harris saw a bounce in her polling numbers in the first few weeks of her campaign, building a lead of nearly 4 percentage points towards the end of August. The numbers were relatively stable through September, even after the only debate between the two candidates on 10 September, which was watched by nearly 70 million people. The U.S. uses an electoral college system, in which each state is given a number of votes roughly in line with the size of its population. A total of 538 electoral college votes are up for grabs, so a candidate needs to hit 270 to win. There are 50 states in the U.S., but because most of them nearly always vote for the same party, in reality, there are just a handful where both candidates stand a chance of winning. These are the places where the election will be won and lost and are known as battleground states or swing states. In Arizona, Georgia, and North Carolina, the lead has changed hands a few times since the start of August, but Trump has had a small lead for a few weeks now. It's a similar story in Nevada, but with Harris the candidate who has been slightly ahead. In the 3 other states, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, Harris has been leading since the start of August, sometimes by 2 or 3 points, but in recent days the polls have tightened significantly, and Trump now has a very small lead in Pennsylvania. All 3 of those states had been Democratic strongholds before Trump turned them red on his path to winning the presidency in 2016. Biden retook them in 2020, and if Harris can do the same, then she will be on course to win the election. At the moment, the polls suggest that Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are within a couple of percentage points of each other in all of the swing states. And when the race is that close, it's very hard to predict winners. Polls underestimated support for Trump in both 2016 and 2020. Polling companies will be trying to fix that problem in a number of ways, including how to make their results reflect the makeup of the voting population. Those adjustments are difficult to get right, and pollsters still have to make educated guesses about other factors like who will actually turn up to vote on 5 November